sounding of fanfare for the new king. Westminster Hall, home to much of our nation's history, from medieval to modern times. But few occasions compare with this. The second Elizabethan age is over. Parliament welcoming a new monarch and a new reign. Past Prime Ministers and parliamentarians here to pay their respects and to offer the new king addresses of condolence, led by the speakers of each parliamentary house.
Deep as our grief is, we know yours is deeper. We offer our heartfelt sympathy to you and all the royal family.
Whatever his private grief, the king here for a very public and performative event. His first speech to Parliament, meeting the enormity of that moment.
I cannot help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us and which reminds us of the vital parliamentary traditions to which members of both houses dedicate yourselves.
A hereditary monarchy renewing its commitment to parliamentary democracy.
Parliament is the living and breathing instrument of our democracy. That your traditions are ancient, we see in the construction of this great hall, and the reminders of medieval predecessors of the office to which I have been called. While very young, Her late Majesty pledged herself to serve her country and her people, and to maintain the precious principles of constitutional government which lie at the heart of our nation. This vow she kept with unsurpassed devotion. She set an example of selfless duty, which, with God's help and your counsels, I am resolved faithfully to follow.
The national anthem now sung for him, the emotion of this moment plain to see. This ceremony concluded, the King and Queen Consort now leaving Westminster for Holyrood, and a deep breath in for a monarch not only mourning his mother, but trying to reassure a nation too. The King embarking now on a nationwide tour, leaving this legislature in London and landing just a couple of hours later in Scotland to address another. Arriving at the Scottish Parliament and setting aside his ceremonial uniform for the kilt. 2 minutes of silence and heads bowed before the King addressed the politicians and people of Scotland.
My mother felt, as I do, the greatest admiration for the Scottish people, for their magnificent achievements and their indomitable spirit. And it was the greatest comfort for her to know, in turn, the true affection in which she was held.
2 nations in one day, this a king well aware of the task he faces, leading a country from one era to another. An unfamiliar and difficult journey for all. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.